Hey everybody, welcome back to All Fiction is Fantasy. Daniel here. I hope you're doing well, and if you're not, I hope you are soon. Okay, today on All Fiction is Fantasy, we are going to be returning to a work of Asa Drake. This is becoming the Asa Drake channel, and will be for at least one more video in the near future. But today we are going to be taking a look at the second book of the Bloodsong Trilogy, and that is Death Riders of Hell. Let's read a little bit about Death Riders of Hell. Bloodsong and Honor. They were the Death Riders, the remains of once proud heroes and Hell's greatest warriors. The very touch of their black-hilted swords or rotted flesh brought instant death, and even the sight of their mail-clad corpses chilled the hearts of bravest soldiers. Now, the warrior woman Bloodsong must face these ghoulish emissaries of evil in a battle to the death, for the forces of hell have kidnapped her daughter and are determined to awaken the dark magic buried in her soul. From the mystical island of the Berserkers to wise Freya's domain, Bloodsong and her companions must prepare for the ultimate battle, honing their swords to lethal readiness, awaiting the onslaught to come. Of course, the cover here is done by Boris Vallejo, and it's okay. I think it's better than the original cover for Warrior Witch of Hell, and it's better than the Werebeast of Hell. They still don't really depict Bloodsong in a very elegant way, I don't think. She deserves much better than the way that Boris presented her. But let's get into the review here. So, Death Riders of Hell, of course, written by Asa Drake. Under that was his pen name. His given name is C. Dean Anderson, and this was originally published in 1986. So if you ask me to close my eyes and imagine my ideal work of sword and sorcery fiction, it would look exactly like Death Riders of Hell, and really the whole Bloodsong trilogy in general. I am about halfway through the third book, Werebeasts of Hell, so we'll be focusing on that in the next video. Imagine if Masters of the Universe had been created for peak heavy metal magazine, and you'd be close to picturing the greatness of these books. Death Riders picks up a few years after Warrior Witch of Hell, and it wastes zero time in getting our group of protagonists together and really throwing them into the deep trenches of evil sorcery, monsters, battles, and epic quests for magical weapons and power. The book wastes no time at all on anything, really. It's like full tilt boogie, pedal to the metal, non-stop plot from beginning to end. Drake wastes no time on unnecessary world building, or on detailing complex systems of magic, or any other number of things that plague so many epic works of fantasy. He does a fantastic job of keeping his lens focused on the protagonists and their plight for survival. However, a couple of my old favorite characters, mainly Thorfinn and Valgarth, Bloodsong's companions from the first book, do get sidelined pretty early in the book, and I wish that they had more to do. The plot of Death Riders of Hell revolves around a new evil witch, a hell witch named Thok, and her evil general Kovna. Together, along with the help of the Hell Warriors and the evil Death Riders, ripped straight out of the Blind Dead series of films. At least that's how I pictured them in my head. Now, Thok and Kovna, they kidnapped Guthrun, which is Bloodsong's daughter, in order to unlock her innate Hell Witch abilities and use her powers for evil. As collateral, they also kidnap Hold, the good Freyr witch who was in the original book, along with Thorfinn and Valgarth, and keep them as hostages to force Guthrun into doing their bidding. So Bloodsong and Jalna, if you remember, Jalna was the slave woman who was rescued in Warrior Witch of Hell, and she has teamed up with Bloodsong and her companions, and she has been training to become a great warrior, really worthy of Bloodsong's or Bloodsong's equal in battle. But together, Bloodsong and Jonna, they team up with Tyrwolf or Tyrolf. And Tyrolf was the guard who helped Jonna when she was being held prisoner in the first book by the evil sorcerer Nidhugg. And they're also joined by a new team of allies, including a fierce red-bearded warrior named Grimnir, and a whole island of shape-shifting berserker warriors led by Ulfid, a badass warrior woman. She is so cool, and her partner Harbarth. And together, this band of warriors storms Thok's castle to rescue their friends, all while Guthrun is being tortured by her long-dead brother, and Hold is having to deal with being tormented by a Jotun while being banished to the Chambers of Decay. These things are nasty. An absolutely disgusting dungeon within the castle that contains piles and piles of dead and rotting carcasses being consumed by thousands of creeping, crawling insects. This whole couple of chapters in the Chambers of Decay were so gross, and once again, I am so happy that books don't have smell technology. In order to gain the power needed to defeat Thok, Jalna and Tyrolf embark on a quest to gain the aid of Freya, and Bloodsong and Grimnir sail to the island of the shape-changing berserkers to earn their loyalty. Each of the quests leads to success, and Jalna is granted magical swords and shields, and Bloodsong is granted Odin's magic, which takes a fantastic and awesome shape. The women really shine in this story, and that's one of my favorite things about it. Asa Drake writes really bold, powerful women, and he writes them well. I love the women heroes in this trilogy, some of my favorite I've ever read. Even when they are stripped naked in an attempt to cause humiliation, they always stay strong and vigilant, and they always work together to make smart decisions to overcome the challenges thrust upon them. And there's a lot of stripping naked in this book. Anytime anyone, male or female, is captured, the first thing that happens is they are stripped naked. Over and over again, people are stripped naked in this book. It's pretty funny. It's like, oh, I've caught you. First thing they do, rip off the clothes. However, Drake never uses this as a cheap opportunity to comment on the sexiness or the shape of the women's bodies. In the end, there is triumph along with death and sacrifice. So every 5 pages or so, something super, super cool happens in this novel. There were at least 5 times while reading this that I audibly cheered or went, yeah, while even giving a little fist pump. And any book that can make me do that is a great one. It's remarkable how Drake keeps the breakneck pace up for nearly 260 pages, and I never once felt exhausted or worn out. The action scenes are fast-paced and expertly framed, but they don't become overly detailed with blow-by-blow accounts. They're also very deadly. You need to pay close attention in the action scenes to pick out who is surviving and who is being slaughtered. The mass market paperbacks for these books are getting very expensive, sometimes going for about $20 to $30 a piece. So if I've enticed you to read these and you aren't a collector, I do recommend the ebook version. It's called Bloodsong Hell Times 3. It's now released under the author's actual name of C. Dean Anderson. I really cannot recommend the Bloodsong books enough, especially to fans of hard-hitting sword and sorcery fiction. They're well written, they're entertaining, they have great characters, and they're absolutely overflowing with truly awesome moments. If you have any fond memories of reading Heavy Metal magazine or playing with Masters of the Universe toys, and you want something that's full of adventure, something that's full of great quests, strong characters, great female characters, mustache-twisting evil sorcerers who are kind of inept, but they have like these really evil intentions, and they're always rather than just killing the warriors, they're like killing their captives. They're keeping them alive and in prison and torturing them and just giving them enough of an opportunity to escape and come back and enact their revenge. But if you are a fan of anything like that, I really cannot recommend the Bloodsong books enough. They, like I said at the beginning, they have skyrocketed to the very top of my list. I will be incredibly happy if during this process of reading more and more Sword and Sorcery, if I find something that I like half this good that I've never heard of before, then I'm going to be very happy, because these books have completely blown me away. I absolutely love them. I'm loving their third book, and I can't wait to be back with a review of that. So, all right, guys, well, hope you enjoyed this look at Death Riders of Hell, and we will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.